Today's video is why you believe stupid things. And why, when I say you, I don't mean specifically you. I mean everybody, no matter how smart somebody is, okay? I think the greatest geniuses all have stupid beliefs that are obviously untrue, okay? And I'm going to talk about why that is, but let's first substantiate my claim, okay? First, I'm going to look at Isaac Newton, all right? He's considered by many to be the greatest genius of all time. Isaac Newton believed in alchemy, all right? Alchemy is total nonsense, all right? He spent 30 years searching for the philosopher's stone, all right? And he wrote 2 million words on alchemy. He was really into the stuff. Well, there is no philosopher's stone. There is no elixir of youth. This is just like, someone taking Dungeons and Dragons way too literally. Well, you know what I mean, right? Obviously, they didn't have that at the time, but yeah, it's an obviously stupid belief with no real evidence supporting it, but he believed it very seriously, right? Here's another example. Take John von Neumann, all right? This guy had absolutely superhuman intelligence. He invented the first computer. He did a lot of things, all right? And, he built the foundations of math and so forth. A lot of big work in math. He invented game theory. But according to game theory, he said that the U.S. should launch a nuclear first strike on the USSR and nuke the USSR to ashes. Whoa. Okay, that's a pretty extreme claim here, right? And he made that claim 76 years ago, and his argument was that if we didn't do it, the USSR would nuke us. Well, he was wrong, okay? It's been 76 years. That never happened, right? USSR doesn't even exist anymore, right? They broke up. Now, I think it's an interesting thing. And, my last video on the prisoner's dilemma, I think that's very similar to the logic von Neumann is using. That's very similar to the logic we use to start wars. A lot of wars are started on that logic. And people think that's the rational option, when in reality, cooperation is the rational option, all right? In reality, this concept of mutually assured destruction is much more rational, all right? And this is the logic we use more today, which is, if you nuke me, I'll nuke you, and we both die, and that sucks, right? So cooperation is the more sensible option. All right, so, why does somebody super smart believe something stupid? We all know why someone stupid believes something stupid, but why do smart people believe stupid things? And I think there's a very simple reason why, which is that most people don't have the time to investigate everything they know, right? We gain information, we get educated way faster than we get the time to actually process, digest, and analyze the information we're given, all right? There's too much friggin' information, all right? So, even something basic, like just checking the internal consistency of an idea, many of us don't do that even with a lot of the things we believe strongest, okay? I'm going to give an example of an idea I believed, which was really stupid, okay? So I have this video where this magpie comes back to life, and when this happened, I was convinced that this magpie was a robot alien from outer space, okay? Now, was I high or something? How did I come to that conclusion? It's obviously, well, in this case, it's just ignorance, okay? So what happened was this magpie, its its eye was lighting up. It was emitting a light from its eye. I was like, what the hell is this thing? How can its eye be emitting light, right? It looked like it was some kind of robot, right? And this magpie was on the ground. It looked totally dead, and then it just hopped up and it came back to life. I was like, what the heck, right? I was really confused. What's going on? Now, someone told me, well, magpies actually have reflective eyelids, right? And so when they blink, it looks like their eye is lighting up, but it's actually just the reflection off their eyelid. Cats have this same feature, right? I didn't know that, right? I mean, I was I never noticed animals have reflective eyelids, right? So, we can come to really stupid beliefs because we haven't examined ideas much. We haven't analyzed it much, I would probably figure it out at some point. I'd probably do some research on magpies and be like, oh, actually they have reflective eyelids, right? I'd probably figure it out at some point. But if it's not my main interest, I might hold that belief for 10, 20 years before I ever figure it out, right? So we can believe really stupid things because, for one, is we just lack information, and for two, is we don't have time to examine everything we know. Okay, and I ask you an honest question: do you think that you're as smart as Isaac Newton? Do you think you're as smart as John von Neumann? Most of us would probably say no, right? And if they can believe really stupid things, well, then chances are, you can, right? These guys were super educated too. They're not ignorant by any means. They're very, very well educated as well, right? Okay, well, what do you think? Do you think all of us believe really stupid things?